welcome back to Kinnaman Backwoods. I'm Jonathan, and I'm glad you joined me today. Today, I want to show you my two John Deere 400s. I got these tractors. I didn't even intend on buying John Deere, or at least these, because I always viewed John Deere as one of those things that you're paying for a name. Because John Deere in our area is so popular and so overwhelmingly just everywhere. There's probably 2 or 3 John Deere dealerships within about 15 minutes of here, maybe 20. And so I never thought of myself as getting a Deere. I will tell you this, that my family does have some history with them. My dad owns a John Deere. My grandpa owned John Deere's when he farmed, and my uncles, both my dad's brothers, owned John Deere's. On my mom's side, I don't know. I don't think any of them were farmers. But anyway, I never thought I just never got a John Deere. I hate to say it, but I kind of avoided them because they were just kind of my dad's thing, my family's thing, but I didn't necessarily want to get into them at the time. But when I got into the tractor hobby of wanting to fix up tractors, I actually, like I said, I never considered John Deere because I thought you were going to be paying for a name. And so I started out with simplicities, as you've seen on the channel here. And I started out with a 7116, which I still own over there. And then I have a Sunstar here, and I have my 400s here. Well, anyway, I was looking at Facebook Marketplace. And my ultimate goal was to have a tractor with a 3-point hitch. It was one of the reasons I got the Sunstar. And I'm rebuilding. So far, I'm rebuilding the motor on it. I had to get some shims for the camshaft, but it should go together fine as far as I could tell, and should fit back together just fine. So I'm rebuilding the motor on that one. And I was just looking on Marketplace because I'm kind of waiting around to get some tools, and I saw this one pop, and I was looking at it, and I knew the one thing about John Deere 400s is you could get 3-point hitches for them. In fact, I watched a playlist where a guy rebuilt a 400 and it had a 3-point hitch on the back, and he used it. And so I was interested in that. I knew they still made. You can actually buy 3-point hitches for a John Deere 400. So I knew it's something I'd be interested in. This guy had bought this as, I think, a part of a set, a bunch of them that he got at once, and was selling it. And I just said, well, I hate to say, I try not to lowball people because I don't like being lowballed, but I really wasn't even interested in the tractor unless I could get it for cheap enough. And I offered him, and we negotiated a couple times and agreed to a price, which was very low. And of course it doesn't run. It does this. That was this one. I went up and picked it up, and I brought it home, and it sat. And it's missing a few things. You could probably tell. It's missing a front grille. It's missing a front light, light cover thing, whatever's on this one. But it's missing that. It's missing a steering wheel. It doesn't have the 3-point hitch. Doesn't have a deck. It's missing there's a little cover, the little metal covers here. It's missing it on the other side. And it's probably missing a couple odd end things I'm not thinking about. And so I was kind of putting together a price list of how much I was going to end up spending to get this 400 back to being operational. I turned the engine over. The engine turns over fine, and it actually has good compression. And I was like, hey, it actually turns over and has compression. This thing probably will start. But I haven't done that yet. I haven't done anything with it actually yet. And I said, but I need to think about what I'm going to do with all these parts that I'm missing. And so I started figuring up all the calculations of how much it was going to cost me to buy the things I want. If I wanted to get a 3-point hitch for it, that was going to be almost $500. Same with a deck and all that. And I was kind of putting the grill, I was going to assume about $100, probably $25. The hood is in usable condition, but it's cracked real bad right here. There's something not right with it. Someone put Bondo on it or something over here. So I did not expect to use the hood. So I said, well, I'd probably get another hood. So I was $50 for that. And this was just low prices. As if I could find it for that cheap. And I saw this one pop up, but this one was almost 3 hours away from me. But as you could tell, it's almost a complete machine. Has a deck on it. Needs the covers. but I think I've already found someone that might have those. It had all the pieces I needed, like the front grille and the light cover and the side covers, and it even has the 3-point hitch, which I'll show you in just a minute, on the back. So I offered a price, and he just said, okay, come get it, because I'd like to have this settled tomorrow. So I went in the next day and picked it up, and I got it. So I decided to go ahead and get these John Deeres. I'm not a big John Deere fan. And just to kind of give you, I'm going to do a walk around and kind of explain to you what I've noticed that is interesting on these tractors. This John Deere is a 1979 John Deere, and this is a 1975 John Deere 400. So you've got 4-year time span here, and I think they made these up through 85. Don't quote me on that. I don't know that for sure. So this is clearly an older machine than this one, and I was looking at some of the design features and actually noticed there are actually a few differences in them. So let me show you some of those differences. First off, is the exhaust. The exhaust is different. Now, the guy who had this machine before put the exhaust out through the side here and down. I'm not even sure why he did that. I don't even know. It looks like he almost just like cut a hole, welded in a pipe, and called it good enough. But originally, this exhaust, I don't know if you can see me over here, came out over here. I don't think this is the original exhaust to the machine. Anyway, but it would have came out over here on the side, and I don't even know if it's 79, because looking at this exhaust, there is no pipe over here that comes out this side. But if you look here, it's welded here in the front, and it would not surprise me is that when this did have an exhaust, the pipe stuck straight out front through. Some of the machines stuck out through the grill here, down in the middle, and so it stuck out down to the middle in the front. And then later machines that came sticking out the side. And I wonder if this machine actually came like that and they put on later model engine covers. If you know anything about that, I'd be interested in learning that information, because I don't know. Over here with this machine, it's very interesting because this has a very odd exhaust system. This has a regular grill, and I've already unbolted it, so I'm going to go ahead and unbolt it here and take it out. So this is the grill. It needs a little bit of TLC. It's bent. That's bent. But it's completely reusable, and it should be fine. I should be able to rust convert it, bend it all back, perhaps put a couple new pieces of metal on it, and we should be good to go. But one thing, if you look here, there's no hole in the center here for the exhaust. So there is no exhaust hole. In fact, this cover comes down too far for that exhaust hole. So you couldn't even have one. There's not even enough room here for an exhaust to come down the middle like that one. And I don't know if you can see it on the camera. I think you can. But there's 2 of these regular mufflers. They come straight out of the exhaust manifold. They come straight off the engine, straight forward. And you know what's ironic about this? I thought, well, someone just got lazy and put those on there because they didn't want to deal with it. But I've actually seen intake and exhaust manifolds for these engines, the Kohlers, that actually has this pattern. I actually think that this very well could be factory, where they just came out the front right there. That's definitely not the design I would do, but I think it's actually made factory like that. And that's one of the differences I see here. And if you look over here, you'll notice that there is no hole for the exhaust right here coming out the side. And there's no hole in the grill for it to come out front. So either he got a more modern grill to go on the tractor, which wouldn't surprise me, because I think this is an aftermarket hood to go with it, because this hood's actually in very good condition. And it's just got a little bit of damage right here. You can see some of the fiberglass sticking out there. But yeah, so here's this, and then it has this lens cover for the lights. And so one thing I noticed, though, is that one turns over and has compression. This one does not. This one turns over, but it just, I don't know if I can do it by hand. I can't do it by hand, but this one just spins. Now, I don't know what that is. Either he's got a valve stuck open, which could be the case. Or it could be completely broken on the inside. I'm leaning towards the broken just because that I would rather be pleasantly surprised than disappointingly disappointed, than just disappointed. So I don't think this engine's going to start for me in the end of it. So let me pick you up, and I'm going to walk you around and show you some of the other differences that I noticed with the machines as they did. And I'd like to know if you know some of the history of these machines and how they actually are made differently, and what they did differently throughout the years, because I don't have a more newer one. I just have 75, 79. It'd be interesting to see what was different and see a 1985 one and see what the differences would be. So here, let me get the camera and I'll show you. All right, so here's that hole I was telling you about right here for the exhaust. And just to kind of walk you through a little bit, here is where the exhaust would have came out in the forward. Of course, this person welded something over that, plugged that out, and then put an exhaust out the side. I don't even know why you would do that. And whatever they are, they were boss. They were the boss. Anyway, but I think from the factory, it either would have came out the front or came out the side. And again, because what my plan is to take these two machines and make one good one, it would not surprise me if they got this off of another machine and put them on here. Because of this hood being in this condition, it doesn't look awful. Like, I think if I power washed it, I think I would be surprised at how good it looks. Because on the inside, see if I can open it here. It's not cracked or anything. Let's see if I can focus in. Yeah, it's not cracked or anything inside here. It actually looks very good. And so I don't even know why they would Bondo it. But if you look down through the side here, it's been Bondoed or something. Let me back up a little bit. You can see it through the moss. Anyway, I don't know. I think this is kind of cool. It says powered by Kohler and John Deere yellow. Of course, this one, like I said, it was missing the little side shield, a little side vent on the side there. But the engine is complete, and it's actually not rusted too bad. Oil looked pretty good in both machines, actually. Oil looked good. And it looks like most of the machine is here. The wiring still looks decent, except for this wire, this wire, this wire, this wire. Oh, maybe it doesn't. And, of course, we got a wasp nest down there. All right, just to kind of walk you around. Now, I am not sure. I would love for someone to tell me why this is open like this. What did John Deere do? Because if you look at that one over there, it's closed. It's closed, but this one here is open. And I don't know why they left this open. I don't know if they left this for, I don't know. I just don't know. If you know why they did that, that'd be interesting to find out. And one thing I'm going to go ahead and point out now, because I'm about to show you here in a minute some of the differences. I want you to look at this valve body block or valve linkage right here. It goes 1, 2, and 3. So inside, middle, outside here, down the side there. That is how they organized the valves on the 1979s. Okay, I'm going to show you the 75 here in a minute. The reason why this wrench is up here, this is my steering wheel. And what I don't understand is for John Deere to be such a great tractor, this steering wheel's broken. That steering wheel doesn't work. I had to steer it by the ratchet that's sitting up there where the seat was. So that steering wheel's not that good. I mean, that steering wheel's not good. That ratchet's not good. Or the ratchet's good, it's fine. But the ratchet, I have to use the ratchet on that one. I got to use an adjustable wrench on this one to get to work. And this one doesn't have an hour meter on it. I wonder why. I don't know if it's maybe because they rebuilt the engine and replaced it, but I don't see an hour meter on this one, so I have no clue what the hours are on this. All right, so the 1979 has yellow lights on the back, where the 1975 has the red lights on the back. And I don't know if that was factory or not. I'd be interested to find out if either of these are aftermarket. And what I like about this one, though, is there's actually no sign that this has ever had a 3-point hitch on it. It says little hitch right there. It looks like they used to tow things with, but that's about it. But there doesn't show any signs of wear on the linkage connections here. So that's great. This bothers me. It doesn't have the clear hose, so you don't know if you have enough fluid inside the transaxle or not. But the transaxles seem to actually be pretty good, so we'll have to wait and see how that works out. But what I like, though, is that this doesn't look like it's ever had a 3-point on it. Okay. Now, for those who know, this is a mechanically engaged PTO. So it's actually mechanical. Push it forward, you push it forward to engage it, and then you release it, and that disengages the PTO in the front. And something happened to this side of the engine cover here. They punctured it somehow. I don't think they did any damage to the engine, because I could see where they went in, only went in about a half an inch. But still, that's like that. I think the other one might be a better option. But this actually, the stickers look great. Powered by Kohler. Very good, very good. Anyway, the engine looks good. All in all, this seat actually looks better. I actually think this is the factory seat. I do not think that this one had the factory seat on it. It was in pretty rough shape. Pretty rough shape. So let's start out with the front here and talk about, I'll show you a little closer on this exhaust. All righty. So here's the front exhaust of this. It has the exhaust muffler, the Kohler K532, that's on both, but it comes straight out the front there. And that might be why the grill didn't have any holes through it. And I think, though, this is not the best design because it burned the paint off here. I don't think it's been good for over here. Got the plastic hot here. And I think that is melted from the plastic there, melted from this muffler. So I think if I redesign it, what I might do is put a pipe down with their face down like this. So they come out, and I put like a little angled 45-degree down where they're blowing down away from the hood, and see if that actually fixes the dilemma as if I decide to do that or not. Anyway. But this one does not have a hole on the outside of the panel. Clearly, like I said, this was an extra thing later on. But I think this is an aftermarket hood that the previous owner had put on it. And this one, as well as the other one, have what's called the power assisted steering. I don't think it's called the power steering yet. It's the power assisted steering. So you steer, this is a valve within the steering linkage. So when you'd steer, it would open up valves and run fluid to this cylinder. Let's see here. Let's see if it lets me turn on my light while I'm recording. It does, good. So there's cylinder right there, and those hoses run back to this steering valve that's part of the steering linkage. That's fascinating how they did that. And I don't think it would be considered power steering, but power assisted steering before they came out with power steering. Now, one of the things I found to be very fascinating, because one of the things I liked about this John Deere 400, even though it's older, is look how perfect these are. They are not bent. They look like they're supposed to be, compared to the other ones that are kind of like they're all wallowed, like bent out, where he's hit something or bent them. But look at this valve body difference right here. Now I'm showing you this because if you go back in the video, you can see the other one, and you can actually see the differences. The other one had 3 separate lever mounts here, and it was down a line, and this one has 1, and all 3 are connected to the 1. And I have no idea why they did that, and I'm really curious to see which one actually is better, and I'll end up using the better one. All right, moving back on the tractor. Here's another difference. See this? There's no hole here. Here's the hole. I have no idea what that's for, but right there, hole. And I think I knew someone with a 78 and it still had this hole, but this one does not have any kind of hole here. It's just a piece of metal here. Look at the rust. Man, this thing's eaten up. It's probably fine. It probably looks worse than what it is, but it's still pretty bad. And also, look at where the seat mounts here. What in the world is this? I have no idea. If you look at it, I don't know if they did that for stability reasons, but it's all bowed up there. And then this seat pan sticks out as compared to this one over here. Look how thin that is right there. And this one over here is much wider of a seat pan. And I don't know why they would do that. I think both fenders would fit on either one, but I'm really curious about why they did that. And here, before I move on, is the is the 3-point linkage. And it looks like, and one of the reasons I got this tractor was because this setup here is $500 brand new. $500. I can't believe how expensive it is. But when it's on, and so for me, just getting the tractor, this right here saved me a few $100. This 3-point load saved me a few $100. Anyway, but I should be able to take this off and mount it on my other one and use it. The 3-point linkage looks fine. It doesn't look like it's broken or anything. The only thing I would say that I've noticed is if you look here, he's broken this before. So, oh, there you go. Sorry, this has been broken. And this linkage here, this pin here has been broken. So he's pulled a blade with it or something. In fact, the guy that I bought this tractor off was selling a 3-point category 0 old blade that I'm pretty sure came on this tractor that I didn't end up buying. So I think that was broke off. And so we'll probably use the other one. But I think everything should transfer over pretty easy. And I should be able to repaint that and reuse it. Okay, and one of the things about the 400s that I like is the fact that it has dual brakes. You know, for the left side, for the right side, there's something wonky with that. It's not stopping the tractor. It's just sat there like that. And I wonder if it's broken or something. But anyway, so these are able to be connected together with this little lever here that slides over, and then it connects the two brakes together. Alrighty. And then I'll bring this out. This one is broken. Let's see here. Let's see if we can do this real quick. This one has a lot of rust up here. I don't know where it was sitting, but it has a lot of rust and corrosion. See, I'm looking down inside there on that, and I'm seeing, like, you see this little heat shield thing, right? Or right here. There's actually rust holes in that. There's rust all over the engine. Rust, rust, and rust. But this one has all the lights and the wiring for the lights, and my other one did not. So that saved me quite a bit of money there. You can see how it's broken. You can see how it's broken there. I think that's repairable. Pretty sure it is. Yeah, pretty sure it's repairable. Just going to take some time to figure out which one I'm going to use. Now, oh, let's say there it goes. All right, we'll just leave it shut. And so these front wheels, which I'm probably I'm not going to use even on one of these John Deeres. They've been tubed. So even though they're older, they've been tubed, so they're holding air just fine, unlike those. So yeah, so these are my John Deere 400s. I kind of showed you some of the differences. I'm going to not rush through this process, but I'm just going to kind of take my time and rebuild them, or rebuild one. And I'm going to use one's for a parts tractor and one's for the one I want to use. I'm not sure. I'll probably just tear them both apart and figure out which one has better parts and just kind of build one good mower out of the two. So I'm excited about that. And thanks for joining me today. I'm going to put you back on the stand. All righty. So one of the things, I'm going to go ahead and shut this hood because I don't need it open anymore. Still shuts good. All righty. So I am so glad. I'm looking forward to doing this. I'm looking forward to putting these things together and building me a John Deere 400 with a 3-point. And I'm looking forward to using it out on the property and trying it out. So thanks for joining me today. See you later.